Hello, travelers. I bet you're surprised to see me on video, thinking that this was just an online course. You'd get some assignments on Moodle and download some things and read some things and be done with not having to deal with me. But surprise, Moodle is phenomenal. This link that is provided to you in the assignments area will take you to a YouTube video, which it's already done because you're looking at me, and I'm here to give you some other assignments. First assignment, I want you to meet your legislators. When I say meet, I want you to call your legislators. If you live in Chicago or a suburb that has aldermen, I want you to call your alderman. I want you to call your state representative or state senator. If you have a different sort of relationship with them, you'll have a choice. I want you to call your county commissioner, and I want you to call your congressman, your member in the House of Representatives. And I want you to ask them some basic questions. What do they do? How big is their staff? What kind of budget do they have? How often do they run for re-election? Is their job a full-time or part-time job? Hint, if they're aldermen in the city of Chicago, by law, their job is a part-time job. It's a $120,000 a year gig, pretty good for a part-time job. And you want to ask them about that. You also want to ask them, what is their vision for their job? What did they see themselves doing? And then you want to talk a little bit, inquire about their legislative history. How many ordinances, bills, whatever, pieces of legislation have they introduced? What policy areas are they most interested in? If they haven't introduced any legislation, why not? If they have, has it been passed or did it die in committee? Have they been co-sponsors of legislation? That's really important as well. Co-sponsoring shows that they at least are signing on to things. Once you find out all this, I want you to think about putting that together in a chart. And look at laying it out in sort of a table format where you have alderman, congressman, state rep, state senator, county commissioner, however. And then the questions may be across the top. And then put in their answers comparatively. So you ask them about salary. Compare the alderman's salary to the congressman's salary. Oh, you also want to ask, how big is their constituency? How big is their district? How many people do they represent? A congressman, for example, should represent around 650,000 people. An alderman, about 65,000 people in the city of Chicago. Is there a difference in responsibility? Is one more difficult than the other? One obviously has to travel and spend half their time in D.C. and half their time in their home district. That's a pretty challenging job. But you want to find that out, and you want to just ask them about their job. How do they envision doing what they do? You also want to find out how long have they served? Meaning they got elected in what year, and they are now up to what year? What do their retirement packages look like? Congress is pretty good. You need to get elected once and then re-elected 5 more times for a total 12 years of service, and you're entitled to full retirement benefits. That's a good deal. If you can get that, you'll want to retire. I think it's at 75% of what their salary is, and I think their salary is probably around $170,000 a year or something like that. And does that really matter? Because half of them are millionaires anyway. Surprise. After you get that table put together, put it in Word or WordPerfect, or I'd even let you do it in PowerPoint if you've got a slide that you want to do that just shows all the information, or a series of slides that shows all the information, and then send that to me. I'll take a look at the email, take a look at some comparison stuff, and then you'll get part 2 of that assignment after I get that. That's going to take you a couple of weeks, but you're getting this assignment the week before your spring break. So you should be able to use your spring break time to make the phone calls that you need to do. Now, don't be discouraged if you don't get in touch with them right away. It'll be harder with congressmen, especially now. The next couple of weeks for members of Congress is going to be pretty challenging because they are wrestling with how to deal with the shutdown of the government. They've only got a continuing resolution and a budget agreement that will go until next Friday. That will be Friday, March 18th. So if you don't get in touch with your congressman, maybe you can ask some of those questions of their chief of staff. That person will probably be in D.C., or you might want to ask their district manager at their main district office here in the state. I'm going to assume that most of you are in the state of Illinois, if not all of you are in the state of Illinois. If you're in Indiana or Wisconsin, same thing. Call them in their district office and see if they're there. After you get that in, like I said, you'll get part 2 of the assignment. And part 2 is going to be based on part 1. So keep a copy for yourself so you can reference that later. Okay? Second thing is, after you've visited with your legislators and you get some sense of who they are, what they do, and all that, then I want you to tell me how you would remove them from office. What are their weaknesses, especially around legislation, performance? What haven't they done? They're going to tell you all the wonderful things that they've done, and thank you for voting for me and being a constituent and all that. That's great. And then you'll tell me how you interpret all that. I'll give you some more details on that sort of later, but I want you to be thinking about that. For now, do the first piece, find out about your legislators, put that together for me in a table, and email me those results. You have until March 21st to get that to me. That should be 2 weeks from today. That should give you enough time to do that. You get a couple of weekends in there, and you've got your spring break. If you have any questions, shoot me an email or call me on the cell phone. Shoot me an email to get my cell phone number, because I'm not going to put that up on the internet for every crank caller to call me, like the governor of Wisconsin got crank called. But call me, and we'll email me, then call me, and we'll get everything sorted out. Thanks. See you soon.